Welcome to the Girl That Got Up podcast, a safe space for the woman who had to survive things she never should have experienced. The woman who became strong too early, loved from broken places, carried pain in silence. This is more than a podcast. This is healing. This is honesty. This is becoming. I am Latisha. And this isn't just a podcast. This is where the version of me I bury finally gets a voice. Because the truth is, I didn't lose myself as a grown woman. I lost myself as a little girl. And this is the story of the girl that got up. Today in today's episode, we're going to talk about becoming the woman that my daughter needed, how motherhood has changed my standards. Motherhood didn't make me perfect. It made me pay attention because before I became a mother, I would justify almost everything. I would tell myself, it's not that bad. I can handle it. Maybe it'll get better. I'll just pray a little harder. In the moment I found out I was carrying my daughter, something inside of me shifted. I stopped thinking only about the woman I was and thinking about the woman she will one day watch. Before I even knew I would become a mother, God interrupted my life. He told me to move to another state, to leave what was familiar, to leave the environment I had grown comfortable in. At that time, I didn't fully understand why. I just knew God was calling me somewhere different. Looking back now, I realized He wasn't just changing my location. He was changing me, because healing starts when you're willing to leave what's familiar. I came to heal. I came to rebuild my relationship with God. I wanted to know Him for myself, not just through what other people said about Him. And the closer I got to God, the less comfortable I became with the life I was living. I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to keep fornicating. I didn't want to keep chasing temporary things that left me empty. I didn't want the world's definition of happiness anymore. I wanted God's peace, God's definition of peace. And then I became pregnant. Everything changed, not overnight, but my perspective changed. Because now every decision I made wasn't just affecting me. It was affecting someone who hasn't even taken her first breath. I remember thinking, I don't want my daughter to inherit the life I settled for. I want something different for her. Not because I thought I was better than anybody, but because I finally understood my ceiling will become her starting point. The ground I choose to step on will become the foundation she built from. Can I be honest? Just because my standards changed doesn't mean my decisions changed overnight. I stayed in my children's father life longer than I should have. I kept hoping things would change. I kept believing if I loved harder, prayed harder, waited longer, maybe we'll become the family I dreamed of. And eventually I had to accept something painful. Potential doesn't build healthy homes. Character does. Love without peace isn't enough. Commitment without growth isn't enough. A title doesn't create a healthy home. Healthy people do. And I realized if I stayed, my child might think this was normal. I couldn't teach my daughter to choose peace while watching me choose chaos. I couldn't tell her to know her worth if I kept settling beneath mine. I started thinking about myself as a little girl. If someone had asked me, what kind of home do you want? I would have said, I want to feel safe. I want peace. I want love that does not hurt. Children notice more than we think. Even when they don't have the words to explain it, they feel it. And I ask myself, what will my daughter do one day? What will my daughter one day say about the home I created for her? That question changed everything, because I realized I wasn't just raising children. I was shaping what they would believe love looked like, what marriage looked like, what respect looked like, what faith looked like, what responsibility humbled. That responsibility humbled me. Some practical steps that I took was becoming the example before you become the teacher. Your child are always watching. Ask yourself, if my child copied my relationship, my faith, my habits, my emotional health, would I be proud of what they learned? Children learn more from what they see than what they hear. 2, let God reshape your standards. Don't base your standards on what you have always seen. Base them on God's word. Ask yourself, does this relationship produce peace? Does it honor God? Does it help me become who God is calling me to be? Would I want my child to accept this one day? If the answer is no, don't ignore that feeling. Practical step number 3, heal so your children don't have to recover from your wounds. If you find yourself reacting from pain, pause. Pray. Talk to a therapist if you have access to one. Reach out to trusted mentors. One thing I learned, whatever you go through, talk about it. Even if you're talking about it to yourself, even if you're doing a meme, the memos in your phone, record yourself. If you're in seasons and times where you're going through a hard time and you don't fully understand it, that would be my suggestion, is to do that. Healing is one of the greatest gifts you can give your children, because it changes what what they experience every day. 4, choose peace over appearance. Don't stay somewhere unhealthy just because you're afraid of what people will think. Your children need a peaceful home more than they need the appearance of a perfect one. Number 5, remember that change is a process. If you're listening and thinking, I didn't leave as soon as I should have, give yourself grace. Growth often happens one obedient decision at a time. The important thing is that you keep moving towards what God is calling you to build. My daughter didn't need a perfect parent. She needed a mother who was willing to change, a mother who would let God transform her, a mother who would choose healing over hiding, peace over pretending, purpose over comfort. In every day, I'm becoming that woman, not just for my daughter, not just for my son, but because God is worthy of my obedience. If you're a mother listening today, remember this. Your children don't need to see perfection. They need to see what it looks like when a woman trusts God enough to grow. I am Latisha, and this is the Girl That Got a Podcast, where healing becomes legacy, faith becomes action, and the greatest inherit we can leave our children is a life surrender to God. It's all gas, no brakes on healing, no brakes on becoming. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Love y'all.